1715, the Caribbean Sea, the golden age of piracy, an era when black flags ruled the horizon and the only law was the steel of boarding sabers and the thunder of cast iron cannons. Imagine Tortuga or Nassau, densely populated bays where hundreds of battle-hardened thugs are preparing for their next raid. Their ships are floating fortresses, their captain is a living legend, and their muskets strike terror into the hearts of any merchant vessel. But today, history will take a different path. Imagine 8 figures in black rising silently from the dark, calm waters of this bay. They have no tricorn hats, they do not shout, "board and kill," and they are not visible in the light of the bonfires. They are the elite of the future. 8 US Navy SELs, the famous Navy SELs. They have at their disposal technology that pirates would mistake for divine magic or a curse from sea demons. Can hundreds of buccaneers, outnumbering the enemy 50-1, stop the ghosts of the 21st century? Or will the great age of piracy end in one night? Welcome to the Steel vs. Silicon channel. Today, we pit the legendary steel of the past against the silicon intelligence of the present. Before the operation begins, let's take a look at what exactly we were up against in the pirate fleet. On the one hand, there was the classic pirate arsenal: muskets, flintlock pistols, and cannons firing cast iron cannonballs. On the other hand, there was the pinnacle of American military thinking. The basis of the Navy SEAL's superiority is what we call silicon. The main tool here is the GP-NVG-18 night vision device. These famous four-eyed goggles give fighters a 97-degree field of view and allow them to see in absolute darkness as clearly as in daylight. For pirates, night is a wall of black fog in which they can only rely on their hearing. For Kotick, night is an operational space where he can see the enemy's every move. Their weapons are HK-416 carbines, equipped with silencers and laser target designators. In the 18th century, a musket shot meant a cloud of acrid smoke, a roar audible for miles, and a minute to reload. In the 21st century, it means a quiet pop, no louder than a drop of water, and 30 shots in 5 seconds. Steel versus silicon. Mechanics versus electronics. Pirate Bay is fast asleep. Dozens of ships are anchored in the roadstead, with a few lights burning on their decks, while drunken songs and shouts can be heard from the shore. The pirates are confident of their safety. They know that no enemy fleet would dare to enter these waters at night. But they do not know that the enemy is already here. The operation begins in the water. The SEALs use SDV underwater vehicles. These are mini-submarines that allow the group to enter the center of the bay unnoticed, without leaving even a trace on the water. The fighters use closed-circuit breathing apparatus. They do not release air bubbles, making the special forces completely invisible, even to those looking directly into the water. Stage 1. Sabotage. While the pirates sleep in their hammocks, the Navy SEALs attach C4 magnetic mines to the hulls of the flagship ships. In the 18th century, a hole in a ship meant certain death. But to make it, dozens of cannonballs had to be fired. Now, all it takes is the push of a button. Special forces operate like surgeons. Their goal is not simply to destroy people, but to immobilize the fleet and sow panic. Stage 2. Psychological domination. Special forces troops come ashore. Snipers from the group take up positions on high ground, using thermal imaging sights. To them, the human body glows in the dark like a neon sign. The silent purge begins. The sentries at the cannons fall one after another. The pirates standing nearby do not even understand what is happening. There is no sound of a shot, no flash of gunpowder. People simply fall down dead. At that moment, the SEALs turn on their laser target designators. In the dusty air of the Caribbean night, infrared rays, visible only in night vision goggles, can be adjusted to become visible to the naked eye. Imagine the shock of a pirate who sees a glowing red dot appear out of nowhere on his comrade's chest, and a second later, he falls. For superstitious sailors of the 18th century, this is a sign of the devil or the touch of the kraken. The first explosions thunder on the water. Magnetic mines tear through the hulls of ships below the waterline. Masts begin to list, decks flood with water. Chaos breaks out on shore. Hundreds of pirates rush out of taverns, grabbing their sabers and muskets. They are ready to fight, but who against? They shoot into the darkness, into the shadows, into the trees. But the SEALs don't stand still. Using tactical radio communication, they coordinate their actions with split-second precision, while one group distracts attention with flashbang grenades, a technology that literally blinds and deafens a person for 10 to 15 seconds. Another group methodically seizes the gunpowder warehouse. In the 18th century, a flashbang grenade meant the end of the battle. Pirates, accustomed to the bright light of bonfires, completely lost their bearings. Their ears rang and their eyes were filled with white spots. In this state, they became completely helpless. The Sea Seals passed through the ranks of the enemy using close combat tactics. Their every movement has been honed by thousands of hours of training. They do not waste ammunition. One shot, one target. This is where silicon, situational awareness, comes into play. The team leader sees the movements of all his fighters on his tablet. He knows where each group of pirates is. If the buccaneers try to gather into a large squad for a counterattack, a sniper with a thermal imager instantly neutralizes their leader. Without their captain, the pirate mob turns into an uncontrollable herd.
But let's be honest and analyze the limits of the Special Forces. There are only 8 of them. Each fighter has about 210 rounds of ammunition. That's a lot, but not infinite. If 500 pirates simultaneously launch a fanatical attack with shouts, ignoring their losses, they can simply overwhelm the group with their numbers. However, this is where psychology comes into play. War in the 18th century was a matter of morale. Armies of that time fled when they realized that the enemy was stronger. Against the Navy SEALs, pirates will feel not just strength, but supernatural superiority. When your bullets don't hit anyone, and an invisible enemy kills your friends from the darkness, when your ships explode on their own and fiery beams cut through the air, you don't fight, you run. By midnight, the bay has turned into a naval graveyard. Flagships lie at the bottom, powder magazines are destroyed, and the surviving pirates have fled into the jungle, abandoning their weapons. The Sea Seals return to their SDVs and disappear into the ocean as quietly as they appeared. They have 0 casualties. Their watches show that the operation is complete. The outcome of this battle is obvious. The pirates' steel is the crude, unrefined power of the past, which relies on numbers and personal bravery. The Special Forces silicon is the cold, calculated efficiency of the future, where information and technology are more important than numbers. 8 men changed the history of the region in 4 hours. Piracy in the Caribbean would have ended the very night the first Kotick stepped onto the sand of Tortuga. Legends of black ghosts rising from the water would have been passed down by word of mouth for centuries, becoming overgrown with mystical details about demons that cannot be killed. What do you think? Would the pirates have had any chance if they had used a scorched earth tactic or managed to lure the Special Forces into the narrow alleys of the city during the day? Write your scenarios in the comments. Whose side would you have chosen in this confrontation? If you enjoyed this tactical analysis, please like and subscribe to the Steel vs. Silicon channel. In the next episode, we will send a modern American sniper team back to 1812 to see if a single rifle could change the outcome of the Battle of Borodino. Thank you for watching, and see you on the battlefield.